Today in the crypto space, we see the market getting a bit of a bounce. Bitcoin right about $69,300, up approximately 3%, give or take. Ethereum also getting a bit of a bounce, right around $3,800, up approximately 1.5%. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, they're pretty much mixed, green and red throughout the market. Arweave doing pretty good, Ondo, Jasmy, and Not coming out of nowhere. The rest of them are pretty much sideways. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that many people are talking about, and it's definitely retracing. And the question is, are we going to get that bounce? And the project is called Shrapnel. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. The overall market cap is still kind of going sideways. However, it did get a bit of relief to the upside. We're getting the volume is kind of going sideways. That's totally fine, but we are getting a bit of a pop in the market cap, which is good because it gives us that indication that the money flow is coming back. We're getting some more capital into the crypto space, and we see Bitcoin getting that bounce, guys, absolutely perfectly on that horizontal support. We'll take a look at the Bitcoin price in a second so that we can use it as an indicator for the rest of the market, because of course we could expect that the altcoin market following Bitcoin is probably what's going to happen here. Bitcoin doing well, Ethereum does well, all the altcoins do well, and we definitely need to be prepared. We do see that the general consensus across the market is a bit of relief to the upside. We've been going sideways a little bit. We have been retracing a little bit in the last little bit, but we're getting a bit of a bounce. Even Ethereum, top of the range. We have even Ethereum-based projects looking pretty good, you know, kind of breaking to the upside slightly. Altcoin still grinding its way to the upside. I would love to see Cardano do a little bit better here, because Cardano's bleeding out bit by bit. So is Dogecoin, bit by bit to the downside. What else do we have here? Chainlink, what's Chainlink doing? Okay, it's looking like it might want to roll over here. The hang time does look pretty, hot right here. It does look like it wants to roll over. So keep an eye on Chainlink. It could be due for a bit of a pullback. It has been performing very, very well in the last little while. So profit taking could be in the, in the works. Uniswap doing pretty good here. It's up 4%. The Ethereum narrative is full on, in my opinion. We should be seeing that Ethereum ETF come out between 10 to 15 days, give or take. And then we should start seeing a lot of these Ethereum-based projects, the large caps, the most known, well-known projects do very well. Uniswap is definitely going to be one of them, the main DEX for the Ethereum narrative. Pretty good stuff there. Near Protocol coming down slightly, 3%. Guys, we know Near Protocol, it has been doing very well. A bit of a profit-taking state is totally fine. Do we DCA? Do we buy the dips? Of course. The question is, how low are we going to go here on this retracement? What else do we have? We have a lot of Ethereum-based projects waking up just a little bit after that retracement, but not enough of a relief to the upside just yet. We have Render kind of still going sideways. No real direction at the current moment, and you guys know I need direction before I can get, in a position or in a stance. Caspa going sideways. Nothing really that interesting, guys. Generally speaking, as I can see as I scroll through the market, it's either the projects are going sideways, getting a tad of relief, nothing really that big, almost negligible, or we're getting a nice pop. Look at Arweave, upgrade news, all of a sudden, boom, 12%, doing pretty good for the day. One of the major gainers, definitely one of the big players in today. Monero doing okay, up 4%. Okay, not bad, breaking structure to the upside. That's something really, really bullish, of course. Floki rolling over 4.5% to the downside, but you got to admit Floki has been really doing well in the last little bit. So I'm patient on Floki. Sui still grinding to the downside. Nothing major though, still making those lower lows and lower highs, slow grind to the downside. That's fine. We got to be patient here. I like the way Celestia looks right now. because not only do we have obviously a clear trend to the upside, but we are getting a bull flag type of scenario here where we can get into a stop loss, we can get into a position with a very clear invalidation with that stop loss. So it does look really good here. Celestial's looking really good. Guys, this is a project that you may want to scale into. It is a larger cap, no doubt, but it's a project that a lot of people are talking about. Just keep in mind that yes, there's a lot of VCs on a lot of these major projects nowadays and all of that, but if you're going to get in with a healthy risk to reward ratio, the difference is that you have a plan to protect yourself just in case. Bitget token, a lot of the exchange tokens are doing very well, and my theory is that the retail market is coming in and trading, and they're buying up tokens just so that they can benefit from the rewards of being a token holder. That is a direct relationship to the amount of the retail investors getting into this space. Bullish, bullish, bullish. I am using these exchange tokens as a bit of an indication of what the market is doing and the retail market itself. Ondo doing pretty good, kind of going sideways, holding up nice and strong as the market has been kind of selling off. That is definitely a sign of strength for Ondo, up 5% for the day. Pretty good there. 27% for Jasmine. Jasmine's been on fire in the last little while. Total of 53% to the upside. Bullish, really good. This is one of the projects that I did miss out on, guys, but you can't catch them all. So don't try to catch those green candles, because that's when you usually become exit liquidity. If you're looking for a position, if you're looking for to get build a bit of a bag on Jasmine, what you really have to do is wait for the structure. The structure broke to the upside. Now it's kind of late, guys. Be careful there. You don't want to be exit liquidity. So again, generally speaking, the market is either going sideways, sideways, or getting a nice move to the upside. Look at Altcoin doing really good, 165% in 7 days. Guys, really good. I scaled in just a little bit, just on a whim. Nothing major, but still pretty good. WorldCoin doing great. Higher highs and higher lows, definitely good. Market going sideways. So again, already doing okay, waking up 20%. What's going on with the already or the Bitcoin narrative? Could the Bitcoin narrative definitely be waking up here? Already's waking up is quite interesting. In fact, guys, the market is kind of sideways. However, bit by bit, we're seeing some of these projects pop off. It does look like an altcoin season. This could be the beginning, guys. Okay, could be the beginning. Don't forget to join me live tonight at 7:30 Eastern. We'll talk about the Ethereum, the altcoin, the Bitcoin narrative. We'll take a look at Ethereum, of course, and the Bitcoin dominance and all that good stuff. And more importantly, I'll be taking your requests. If you have any projects you want me to cover, that is a great time and place to make those requests. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin. Let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, at the end of the day, is still within the structure, guys. Still within the structure, and it's so great to see that it's respecting the TA. My TA is telling us that this is a level that needs to be respected. And not only did it respect it once, but it respected it twice, almost 3 times already, if you want to include this little wick right into here on the daily. So far, so good. I'm looking forward to this breaking up bullish, as it could eventually be a bull flag. A bull flag, right? Impulsive move, sideways consolidation, or a cup and handle, nice rounded bottom, and then a handle for that breakout. Ultimately, the breakout is in the expectation that we get into price discovery and start moving to the upside again with some bullish price targets, of course, all the way up to maybe about 85K, which would be awesome before we see the next phase to see what happens here, and maybe another consolidation, maybe a bit of a pullback. Whatever the case is, or maybe we go parabolic after this. Could this be the case that we go parabolic? Regardless, if you enter your positions, we'll take it day by day, and we'll start de-risking once we see the market showing us a bit of weakness. What do we see here with oscillators? Oscillators are still good, momentum. What I do like is this. I like the fact that the volatility is now oversold. Now really oversold. What this means is that I'm going to be getting into long positions with a lot more comfort, given the fact that every time the Bitcoin price got oversold with regards to volatility, we got a nice recovery. And look at this, every time we recover, we've been recovering harder to the upside, meaning the bullish response have been stronger. This is why we have a momentum that is trending to the upside. So this is looking pretty good here. We could expect a continuation in the expansion. I know the expansion took a bit of a hit on this retracement, but ultimately even expansions, they do take a bit of a break, and then, they take dips along the way. And I do expect a nice expansion to overbought conditions. In overbought conditions, we'll see the Bitcoin price run fairly hard, and that's when you make the majority of the gain. So that's that with regards to Bitcoin. This looks like a fake out ready to happen. I'm not really trusting what's happening here. This this little beak here that we got going on, it does look like it's ready to fake out the market. It's going to continue, maybe open up here and continue to the upside, and then we'll get some green histogram bars to the upside again and continue the expansion to the upside with regards to trend. So no major trend reversal yet until I get a EMA cross and one little red histogram bar. Then I'm starting to get confirmations that yes, maybe we're ready to come back down into the bearish control zone. But until then, I remain bullish here on Bitcoin. All right, guys, so that's my take on Bitcoin. We can get a little bit more detail tonight at 7:30, but let's take a look at Shrapnel. What's going on with Shrapnel? Obviously, Shrapnel has been retracing, guys, and a lot of people have been talking about it. So I figured, why not? Let's give it a bit of a shot here to see what's happening. Ultimately, what I can say is this: we are in a clear accumulation range. I just want to be clear about this because you can see that we did not get an expansion just yet. We did not get a clear move either from the bears or the bulls where we left a huge amount of volume left behind, meaning a volume gap. I would like to see the volume gap. Now, I know it looks very bearish. We're making a trend to the downside. We're making lower lows and lower highs. You can see this, right? It does look like an ABC type of corrective move. Now, maybe we have more price action on other exchanges. I think that is definitely valid, but it's definitely coming from much lower levels, which means that, guys, we need to prepare for the fact that we could be holding some support very, very soon, given that this was an impulsive move coming from much lower. And then we got an ABC correction. You can see the wave structure right here. And then could we be at a pattern completion where we potentially start looking for another reversal? Now, before I get into the oscillators and all of that, I just want to be clear about what's happening here with regards to these, which are harmonic patterns. Guys, I don't really trade harmonic patterns, but when I do see them, I can identify them very loosely, and I do kind of like understand that ultimately what we're looking at is a way of explaining Fibonacci retracements in a very pattern-like structure. This is called a bullish Gartley that we are seeing right now. It does look like a bullish Gartley, right? You can see that we ran up, retraced, came back up, made a lower high, a very clear lower high, and then we came back down and we're at a very decent retracement. Now you can see based on the bullish Gartley, we got to come down below that 1.313 or the 1.618 extension level, right? So are we at that level? Let's get our Fibonacci's, swing low to swing high. You can see that we are attempting to get to that 1.618, but we did fall below the 1.13, which means that we are in the zone for potential pattern completion based on this Gartley. So if we do on this bullish Gartley, yes. So if we do look at this, if we kind of get, hopefully I can use this tool correctly. Let's go right here because this is what we got. A, B, C, right into here, right into here. This is C, and we come all the way down. You can see that this is absolutely great. And it does look very, very, very similar to what we got going on right into here, right? If you more or less, this is what we got. So, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't never look for perfection, but it does look like it a lot. Now, what I do like also is the fact that we're hitting that 1.27. You guys know that I use that quite a bit on when I do my analysis, the 1.27, the 1.618, all that good stuff. I barely use the harmonic patterns. However, sometimes we definitely need to consider other confluence with other techniques because it gives us a bit of an edge. So let's put that away for a second and just keep it in mind. It is at a good level. We are hitting that 1.27 extension. We almost got down to the 1.618. Could we come down for a little bit more? Maybe. If you look at the overall volume, we do have some consistency here with this gap that we kind of have below. You can see that below 7.3, 7.4 cents, we have no volume, obviously no price action there. So I'm a bit, worried about how much lower we could go. And then ultimately we start looking for a potential, bounce to previous highs. Now, if we start looking at the risk to reward and we start looking at the fact that we have a range bound type of scenario with lots of volume, with no major expansion, the risk to reward right now starts to improve. Given the fact that if we start breaking below previous lows and we have the point of control there, which, you know what, to be honest, is not even fair because all of these kind of spiked out pretty hard at all these levels that are fairly strong as well. Although this one is a little bit harder, these ones were all really great opportunities as well. All good, very horizontal levels to the point that even if I would exclude this, I want to show you something. Look at all the volume that is being put in at this current level. It does look pretty thick here. You can see, look at the volume, meaning that market participation is getting involved here at this bottom. And it has got involved in the past, but it did break down. Now, the question is, are we getting involved here for a bullish move, a corrective move, or for another continuation to the downside, it being a sell-off? So we got to be very clear here that we need an invalidation for the bullish thesis. However, the bullish thesis is the one that's going to give you the best risk to reward ratio. Now, let's understand what I mean here as well, is that if we do eventually get into an expansion out of this zone, because we can see tons of accumulation, tons of market participation, let's say that we get up to this level, backtest and continue, right? We potentially get into an expansion move where we start leaving. Let's get rid of this. Let's put this up here for a sec. We start going to higher levels right up to here, and then we start consolidating again, right? We start to see volume right into here. We start to see a stop loss, good setup here, nice bull flag. We start to see an empty gap, because within this strong move to the upside, we're going to have little to no consolidations along the way to act as support for previous price action to come down and bounce off of. So if we do not make the flag, we have to understand that we have a lot of weakness below that we could come down and back test this and continue to the upside later. But at the end of the day, what I am hoping is that we pick up enough bullish bids at this level that eventually we break out of previous highs, previous resistance levels, which of course begin at about 44 cents. 44.5 cents is the major one, which is the previous high. We do have this little level, this high, and all these little bottoms and all this bottom, but at the end of the day, you can see how the market participation was built and formed at this level, where eventually, you know, we could stay here, go sideways a little bit more, accumulate, and finally get that major move where we see that expansion. I'm hoping that we don't get an expansion to the upside. For me, that's a more important thing. We want an expansion to the upside. We do not want an expansion to the downside. So this is why I'm very clear as to that we need to have an invalidation for our thesis. We need to have a stop loss right into here to protect our initial investment. Now, what I would also like to see, guys, just to be clear, is price action. Price action is king. What we would want to see here is some sort of structure to suggest that we've hit our bottom. Now, it doesn't have to take this long. It could take even longer. What do we know, right? We just need to be prepared. But what I would like to see is a confirmation where we get a higher high and a higher low right into this level, right? We usually, after a major impulsive move like this, which does look like a nice sell-off, we could get into a nice W formation, a cup and handle, an Adam and Eve, something like that, that would give us, you know, some confluence or some sort of structure to play off of, right? Inverse head and shoulders, for example, would be really good. What about this nice V recovery and a nice rounded bottom? That's all very possible, but I want structure right here, guys. I want structure so that I can play into it. I know where to put my stop loss, which we already kind of know it's at about 79 cents more or less. But also, in addition to that, I want proof that the market is getting in with me. I want proof that we're getting divergence on the oscillators, that we can get in from a healthy scenario without taking too much risk. And that means that I can get in with a bigger position size, because ultimately, the more I get of those confirmations, the bigger position size I will be comfortable deploying on the setup. Right? So if you start looking at momentum now, let's get into these oscillators. Price action is king. We're not getting any higher highs and higher lows just yet. So just keep in mind that we would want to see that first before we get super bullish. But when you start looking at momentum and you look at the expansion that we've had to the downside, it's pretty much done. It's tapered off already. Right? I wouldn't be surprised that we start seeing a green expansion to the upside very soon, similar to these, this, you get what I mean? And maybe a nice response from the bulls to the upside. However, I also see a nice bullish divergence in all of this, right? As we're coming down, right, you can see that at this level we're making lower lows while we were making slightly higher lows. In that case, that's class A bullish divergence, which is super great. Now, volatility could come down again. We can see the orange line. It could come down like it did to Bitcoin. Guys, we just talked about Bitcoin, so keep that in mind, that we saw Bitcoin's volatility come all the way down, and now that Bitcoin's volatility is already down, I could expect the volatility to start running to the upside, and this could happen for Shrapnel, seeing the volatility get oversold and then get that bounce, so that the volatility is running in the same direction as the momentum, which is the purple line. And that would give us the best scenario. Volatility in the same direction as momentum is key, right? Because that's basically what traders want. They want to trade the volatility alongside the momentum. We do have EMAs open and trailing to the upside. We have nice green histogram bars moving to the upside as well. So looking pretty good. We would like to see these EMAs in the bullish control zone, which is at the top half of the oscillator. So we got to be patient for that to happen. So little by little, I think we will get all these confirmations because we already got 2 drives of bullish divergence while we're seeing the trend got to kind of get its pivot with Class A bullish divergence, 2 of them. So which is pretty good, with those green dots giving me lots of confluence that we're ready to run. Okay, so not bad of a scenario here for Shrapnel. Ultimately, the question is, did we find our bottom? Did we hit a bottom? There's a lot of confluence here that I presented to you that could suggest that we finished the bottom. But remember, price action is king. Wait for that structure. Now, once we build the structure, we can start looking at the setup. I would say that if we can enter a position right around here and put a stop loss right into here and take profit at range highs, let's be modest, maybe right around here, you're looking at 277%, guys. Right, with a loss of 32%, risk to reward ratio 8.5 to 1. So even if, let's be more modest, that's totally fine. Let's put it down here. Let's be as, look at the ratio, 2.5 to 1. This is the average ratio for any trader, and this didn't even do anything. The reality is it really even didn't make any major moves yet. So my opinion is, obviously not financial advice, guys, is that when you see risk to reward ratios that are so healthy like this, the choices to go long or to go short, depending on the direction, is a lot easier. And in that case, it is fair game to take a bit of calculated risk based on just risk to reward ratio, especially if you're fundamentally bullish. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. See you tonight, 7:30 Eastern, talking about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.